All right, hello everyone. This is Nancy Rebecca with Intuitive Mind, and I am here in the Pacific Northwest, more specifically Tacoma, Washington. It is 8 o'clock in the morning here, and we are here live on YouTube and live also on the Blue Light Movement page on Facebook. And I welcome anyone who wants to be a part. We have 1,800 members of the Blue Light Movement page, and we welcome anybody who wants to join that private page where we talk about everything having to do with blue light. So as you're popping on, good morning. Good morning, Danelle. Hi from Phoenix. This is Mountain Lake Terrace, Washington. Good morning, good morning. So glad you all are popping on this morning. Yeah, I'm glad you've been waiting for this day. Happy Blue Light Day. I thought that I would start off the day by saying this is season 7, episode 1, or whatever, episode 1 of season 7, because I was trying to count when did all this start. So it started first with the me sitting in meditation, minding my own business, and suddenly all these blue beings of light came into the room and told me that I needed to go to China, of all places, and that I needed to find out about the blue light. So that's where it all started in 2017. I don't think I actually started, maybe I started writing about it then, but you can go to my website, intuitivemind.org, and click on the little bar. It says blog. And once you click on that, then you can click on blue light. But I've got some blue light kind of mixed in some other places, not very organized that way. But anyway, all the information is there if you want to read more about its early beginnings back in 2017. So awesome. Good morning, Warrior Girl. Hi, Yolanda. Nice to see you. We met somebody from Georgia. Hello. And Gig Harbor, Newfoundland. Hi, how are you doing? All right. So as usual, we have an hour together this morning, and I have a lot to share. I'm very excited. Got some affirmation about what's going to be coming through for the year 2023 this morning, and I'll share a little bit more about that. So for those of you who are popping on and you're trying to decide if you want to stay on or not, I'll just kind of tell you some of the chapters that we are going to be having in this episode of the Blue Light Movement, which is today is actually the anniversary of the Blue Light Movement we had on November 19th, 2021. So this is 2022. So we're actually on the 1-year anniversary. I'll talk a little bit about that. Also, I'll just do a little brief update about kind of how did the blue energies impact us? How did the blue energies enhance our lives? What did we kind of see as the fallout in the year 2019, 2021, and what we can expect in 2023? Yeah, and as I promised that I would announce the location, and I think I talked about that last month, but again, just kind of reaffirming the location of where the blue light surge will, it's going to happen all over the world, but this focal point, I'll talk about that today. And 2023, what is the theme of the blue light? The star beings, what is their theme that they're really saying we're going to be focusing on for 2023? So I'm quite excited about that as well. So the blue grid. So we're going to do a meditation on the blue grid. So it's a grid that connects to the kind of core blue, I'm going to call them the blue crystals at the core of the earth, and then they connect us all the way to the atmosphere so that as the blue light comes in, it can go all the way across the grid to the blue light crystals and then back out again. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. So sorry, my little computer's telling me that I'm going to go live this morning. So hello from the Rocky Mountains, British Columbia. Hello, good morning, Virginia. And I can't believe it's been a year either. I can't believe it. And we have gained a lot from it to now. Really have gained a lot. Comox, BC. So hi, everyone. So yeah, let's hop in. It's gonna be good. So yes, the blue light anniversary was November 19th, 2021. So remember, I got the message in 2017. I did go to China. I did have a vision that kind of knocked me over in a public place, and my friends and that were with me were kind of knocked back a little bit. It was quite dramatic. I had the vision, and in the vision was told that we were going to be having now three big light surges, 1921 and 2023. I find it interesting. It's odd years. However, there's something's going to happen in 2025 as well, but I don't have that information. But that we seem to be being prepared for almost kind of moving into these higher states of consciousness. And we just can't leap from one consciousness to another. So we get these in little bits of doses so that we can get prepared for it. So the first surge, and you can read more about my experience in China because I have written about that as well on the blog post. So how did these blue surges come through, and how did it improve our lives? Well, oh, sorry, I'm missing my comments. Oh, thanks for the love. Yolanda, thanks for the love. Hi. Okay, I'm getting it, getting it, getting it. All right. So, and High River, Alberta. So in 2019, the surge happened in Xi'an, China. So there is a pyramid there. It's not talked about. There aren't a lot of reports about it. It is in China. They literally they put dirt and planted grasses and planted trees on top of it. So if you're looking down from a satellite or an airplane, that you can't see it. But there is a story about a pilot, I think from World War One, that was flying over and looked down and saw these three pyramids. They actually have over 200 pyramids in this area, but saw it. It is aligned with Orion's belt, the constellation of Orion. Saw it and talked about it. So you can do a Google search and you can read more about that. It brought a lot of attention to China. At that time, they planted a lot of nature on top, so now nobody can see it from above. When I was in China, I did not know that they had a pyramid there. So it's right near where the terracotta soldiers are. That big discovery, I think, that was made in 2008. So it's really near that area. So I knew it was going to come through, but I was guided to be in South Africa when that happened. So there was a group of about 20 of us when this surge came through. And the way that it came through, it's like way high from the cosmos. It came down, this enormous, enormous surge of blue light. And then that light kind of paused. It's almost like the second hand stopped ticking. It was like this sudden still point. And I don't even think it lasted 3 minutes when I'm thinking back on it now, but it seemed like it was lasting an eternity. Like, can you imagine like everything just stopping? And then when it kicked back up again, it was like this big reset on the planet. It was a surge of light that just went all throughout the world. Now, this happened in November. Then about January, February, I started seeing these light codes. So to me, it looked like this blue, very similar to the color cloth that I'm wearing, came down, all these light codes. I was standing in my living room, looking out the window, like, what is happening? I even wrote about the codes. And then within a month later, we had COVID. Is there a relationship? Personally, it's too much of a coincidence because every time we had another big surge of COVID, I would see these celestial codes to begin with. That's for a whole other conversation. However, then all that happened. So yeah, it wasn't kind of happy, joy. I mean, we were terrified. We were getting sick. We had loved ones who were dying. I mean, there was this big health scare. We didn't know if this was going to last forever. So That's what happened in 2020. So it kind of spilled over into 2020. In 2021, when we had the next surge, which happened to be on November 19th, that was a liquefaction. It was like the whole earth became like this liquid ball of liquid blue light, but it wasn't a watery liquid. It was a light liquid, just this pure, almost like this gas of liquid that can move around. And so that kind of rocked and rolled right in the center of the earth, back and forth. Some of the surges would come to the surface, it would go back down. There was a lot of movement, and that was in 2021. So, we had big shifts during that time, and it wasn't so comfortable for many of us. And then for some of you, it was comfortable. So that was in 2021. Now, 2023, I was told in 2017 that it would be in the southwest of the United States. And no, maybe it was 2019. Anyway, I can't remember. In the pyramids. So in 2021, it was in Mexico at the pyramid there. And then it's like, okay, it's going to be at the pyramids in the Southwest. And I was like, yeah, well, we don't have any pyramids in the Southwest. And they said, what will be hidden will be revealed. Now, the blue light peels away illusion, illuminates truth. Peels away illusion, illuminates truth. It illuminates what has been hidden. And so that's what they said. They said, it will be revealed. So just recently, I had that big aha moment where it really came through that it was in Hopi land. So there's a place there, it's called the Three Mesas. There is a book called The Orion Zone that you can look up as well. So the Three Mesas are also aligned with Orion's belt, as is the pyramids in Teotihuacan. So I don't want to get into all that because I talk about that many times, but I want to kind of catch you up to speed now. What is going to be what I was told for 2023. Now I want you to hear this story. You're going to be kind of blown away. Okay, so this morning, I've been meditating on it, and I was up at about 3:45, and you can hear that squeaking in the background. If you can hear that, that's my dog squeaking the door. Okay. So I'm meditating this morning. I'm meditating on the grid because I know we're going to be working with the grid today. I know that they really want us to clear off the grid today and every day for this next year's. I knew that it was being enhanced, so I just wanted to sit with it, and I wanted to kind of channel the light from Orion. So I'm doing all this great stuff. So I said, we've had a theme every year. What is the theme for 2023? And the message I got was, in 2023 is ending an era. And the era that's ending is violence, meanness, hatred, greed, I don't know, whatever else, corruption. We'll just say corruption. Now, for this year, 2022, they said it was the year of the healer, of justice, and of beauty. So healer, justice, and beauty. And now we're moving into this end of this era. So there's going to be a big surge to clear this violence. Now, this is the part that's going to blow your mind. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching where they're showing me that the violence has, it's like little clips. It's kind of little cuts in the grid. There's kind of cloudiness in the grid, and it's pure violence. And they're showing me how in some places there's more violence than other places. All right, so this is not funny, but I'm sitting there and they're showing me all this. And next thing you know, I hear pow, 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 pow. Literal gunshots at 6 o'clock this morning, a half a block from my house. And my eyes just flew open, and I was like, all right, you didn't have to show me an example. I know what violence is. Next thing you know, I hear this car squealing away, and then about 10 minutes later, I hear all the sirens. We have a little 7-Eleven store about a half a block away, and I have a sense that that there was a robbery there. I haven't found out yet. However, Isn't that incredible that the blue beings of light were telling me that we're moving into this era in 2023 where violence, corruption, greed, meanness, and hatred. They were very specific about violence, meanness, and hatred were going to be the energies that would be dissolved by the blue light in 2023. And then suddenly I hear gunshots. So, yeah. So, how do you explain that? I can't explain it, but it was pretty mind blowing. All right. Now, the blue grid, the other thing, let's see what I want to talk about. Okay, I talked about COVID. I talked about the liquid blue. I talked about 2023, ending an era of violence, hatred, and meanness. So Thursday, the other thing I want to say is the Lyrans. So the Lyrans from Lyra are a feline star being, and they are really, I saw a few trickling through in the last couple of years, but they are really surging. I mean, their presence is coming on strong right now. So I teach meditation at an unhoused, it's for youth who don't have a home. And so they help them get jobs, apply for jobs, interview for jobs, and get placements in homes. And so Soul Seeds, my nonprofit, which I'm going to put a little plug in here for a second, that on Giving Tuesday, I think that's the 29th, I would love it if you'd make a donation to Soul Seeds. All right, so we're there teaching. I was there on Thursday. And I was really called in to bring in a lot of earth energy because homeless youth are very empathic. They're very emotional. They're very sensitive to the emotions of others and their own emotions. So we're bringing a lot of earth energy to just help kind of draw out some of those emotions that are harsh. So anyway, I had them bring up the earth energy all the way up to like the throat area. And so there was one particular person, they said afterwards, they said, wow, I just had this really incredible experience. And I feel like I could talk to you all for the next 2 hours explaining to you what happened. And they said that they had so many visions. They'd never had this many visions. And this person's been attending for about 8 months now, every single week for the meditation. So they've gotten pretty good at it. But they said they had never had visions like this. And so they said that they had a vision of a crystal, of like some type of emerald, like crystal, like 3D, so much in depth, and that they felt compelled in this vision to place this kind of crystal into the earth. And then they said that suddenly they felt like they were in the galaxy, in outer space, that they were a part of this other planet. And then they said they heard this voice say, you are a star seed. You are a star seed. And this person, I think, is 19 or 20 years old. And so they said, I don't even know what a star seed is. Well, you can imagine, Perry and I, our eyes are like this big, and it's like, wow, just really connecting to the earth really sparked these visions. So here we are with someone who doesn't know anything about this, definitely has a lot of other life events to be concerned about, worry about, and uplift and change and transform. And yet this voice said, you are a star seed, and that they are being awakened by the star seed, star beings. So I just informed them to go ahead and go online, and I said, that's actually a real word, and people actually talk about it. And there's YouTube videos, and there's lots of things you can read about. So I sent them on their way to do a little bit more research so that they know they're not crazy. So just to let you know, that event happened. And so it's happening for all of you. It's happening for all of you. So in 2017, when the blue beings of light came in, there were only a few that could come in. They came in from a very high frequency. It was a high dimension. When I asked them how come I could see them and hear them, and they said, because you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. They said they were coming through to those who were able to connect in at those higher frequencies. And then in 2019, they would dip down as far as they could get to the close to the earth, but then they had to go up because the earthly dimension was so dense and thick and heavy. We could all feel that, right? But as the blue's been coming through, they've been able to come further and further to the earth, and they've been able to stay here for longer periods of time. So you could imagine like the ocean 2,000 feet deep, and they're always having to try to swim down to the bottom and still try to acclimate to all that pressure of the water. Now that's gone, and now they're able to stay longer. And so that's what they're saying is now you don't have to be able to acclimate at all these high dimensions to be able to communicate with them. And they're saying now that the average person can communicate. So go ahead in your next meditation, tune in and just call and see if there are any blue beings of light around. And again, like I said, the Lyrans, I'm going to talk here in a minute, are especially very strong right now. So remember, you've heard me say, those who've been following me for a long time, the spirit world and even the blue beings of light have said, you broke it, you fix it. And you've heard me say, they don't say it in a sarcastic tone. They're just saying, if it's a human creation, they can't interfere. But the example they give is like a child. So let's say you have a 3-year-old child and now they just broke this expensive vase. The child's crying, you're upset, you've lost this vase. The child is responsible. The child has to have consequences for that. And so the consequences change depending on the age of the child. But what the blue beings of light have said is that they are like the parent, where they can't help you pick up the pieces of the vase, or if you broke a toy, they can't help you pick up the pieces of the broken toy, but they can guide you on how to glue the pieces together or how to take the pieces to the trash and discard it. And so that's what they say their role is. It's just like this very loving parent that has a high frequency. And they're like, you have to fix what's broken in the world, but we are going to help guide you in the best way possible. So let me just talk about the Lyran starseeds before we talk a little bit more about the grid, because they have a lot to do with the grid. So Lyran starseeds are the feline. So often you will either see them as a large male lion with a large mane. I've seen them in blue, I've seen them in red, I've seen them in golden, and I've seen them like an LED light that's got a little bit of gold, but it's just like this blinding pure light. So I've seen them come through in multiple colors. Hey, we're human. We have an aura that can change colors, so why can't star beings change colors? Lyran starseeds are known as some of the oldest souls in the universe. They, where was I going to write? Oh, what did I write? They are the ancient carriers of wisdom. So if you meet someone on Earth who carries the starseed genetic DNA, you might often say, wow, they're a really old soul. That a part of their soul is quite old, and that comes through the human eyes. So the Lyrans are quite known for their ancient, they are known as the ancient wisdom carriers. They love the freedom of the earth. The Lyrans, they love the freedom, but most of the Lyran civilization on the planet Vegas, their civilizations were destroyed. According to things that I've read, I did not ask about this, but it was kind of affirmed when I was had the information written down. But they were fighting against violence, corruption, greed, meanness, hatred. So they were fighting against that, and it didn't fare very well. So they ended up kind of starting to integrate more with the Syrians and Pleiadians. And so they're very much a part of that. not totally pure anymore, but much more like hybrid star beings. Just like many of us carry a lot of the hybrid star being that you may have Lyran starseeds, you may have Syrian starseed or Pleiadian starseed, or, I think there's like 15 other different types of starseed. Again, Google it, look it up on YouTube. There's a lot of people talking about it now. They are old souls. They trust the flow of life. Even if it doesn't look very pretty, they will tend to lean towards trusting that everything that is unfolding is as it should be. So the Lyrans are very good about remembering that and helping us to remember. They're also excellent if you've got starseed, Lyran starseed. You're going to be a huge history buff. You're going to love ancient history, ancient civilization. Because remember, they're the record keepers. They are the ancient keepers of the wisdom and information. So if you've got Lyran starseed, you're going to really love history. They tend to be extremely passionate on the inside, but can be very reserved on the outside. I think, let me just see. I made my little side notes. Oh, and the Lyrans are the equivalent of the earthly ancients who were the Egyptians and the Romans. So anyway, loads and loads of stuff about that. So let's talk about the grid. So what I found fascinating when this person at the shelter was explaining that they saw this crystal. Now, the blue crystals that are very similar in color to lapis or cobalt. I can't remember the other blue. Anyway, it's like this, like I'm wearing. But they've always talked about these crystals at the core of the earth, and that these crystals would get very illuminated. And when they got illuminated, they would activate these kind of veins of blue crystals, get really activated, get very bright, get very light, and surge through the earth. And they surge all the way up, clearing the grid. We also have that cosmic blue light that comes down to help clear the grid. But we were told in 2019 to let the blue light come down, activate the blue crystals, and then let them illuminate. All right, so when I was in Utah, oh my God, I so wish that when we're sitting here that we could be sitting in my living room. I wish you could all be sitting in my living room. We have coffee and tea, and we'd be talking about all this cool stuff. Because I'm looking at a screen and I know you all are out there, but boy, I'd love to be sitting with you in person. All right. So I'm in Utah in September, and there are 2 shows that are being filmed there. One is called Skinwalker Ranch, and the other one is The Mysteries of Blind Frog Ranch. So I shared a little bit of that story, but at Blind Frog Ranch, so we were talking to this man, his name is Cactus, and so he was talking about where his property is, probably about a 20-minute drive from Blind Frog Ranch. And he said he has built this bed that's like, I don't know, 20 feet, this platform, and he has a mattress on top, and so he sleeps under the stars. And he said one night he woke up and the whole sky was this color blue. This color blue. Now it was nighttime, it was dark, but that color blue lit up the whole sky. And he said the light was coming up from the earth and it was lighting up the whole sky. And the area that he could see it coming from was the area where the Mysteries of Blind Frog Ranch is. So he gets on the phone and he calls them and he said, I don't know what's going on, but something's going on this land. I'm seeing this blue light. And they said, yeah, we've got it covered. We're here. We'll talk to you later. He ended up driving out the next day, and they explained to him that they had dug this hole, and there were these blue crystals that came out of the hole, these blue rocks that came out of the hole. I don't remember exactly everything that happened, but they said suddenly all of these spaceships showed up. And I thought he said there were three, but I've watched a video since and they said there was 9 or 12. And these spaceships were coming down, and there was these bolts of lightning coming out of the earth that were pure blue, like these surges of electricity. And this video. So I haven't posted the video yet. I wanted to talk to you all first. I am going to post it as soon as I get off this call. It is an hour long, and you're going to hear from the owner of the land, and you're going to hear him tell it in his own words and his own experience, and he witnessed it with his own eyes. He is going to show a picture. It's an artist's rendition of what happened. Now, when I heard from Cactus, it was like I'd been hearing a lot of amazing stories, so I just kind of put it in my back pocket and went on my way. But when I saw this video, I was like, holy crap. So this blue light came up from the earth from these blue crystals, and then all of a sudden these spaceships started coming from all over. And then apparently what he tells in the story is the government showed up, and he thought he was going to be in big trouble. He opened up something he wasn't supposed to open up. So what I was told when I was in Utah was that this blue surge that comes up. So let's just imagine that you're a star being in a spaceship. Now, I don't see star beings coming in spaceships. They just come in from another dimension. But let's say you're in a spaceship. And let's say you're a billion light years away from home. You got to get gas somewhere, right? Well, that's what they were saying, that they realize that this blue light, they refuel, they get reactivated, they really get to build up their energy so they can travel millions of miles again. So yeah, that sounds fantastical, doesn't it? It sounds fantastical. But then, so anyway, I'm going to post that so that you can see that and watch it for an hour. Get yourself something to snack on, because it's going to be a nail biter, and you're going to be drinking your coffee or whatever, and like make sure that nobody's going to bother you so you can just really focus on this. Do you have to believe in this? No, but why not be a little more open-minded? So that's what I'm trying to be. Then my daughter says on Monday, so now my daughter's not into this stuff, but she knows that I went to Utah. She's like, Mom, you're not going to believe this, but our friend who's an air traffic controller said on Monday, so here it is Saturday, just this past Monday, air traffic controllers from all over the United States were calling in, pilots were calling in, they were seeing UFOs everywhere. They were seeing ships everywhere, 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 all over the United States. The calls were coming in like crazy. They didn't know what was happening. So I don't know. We don't hear about this stuff until, years later. So who knows? We're moving into this world in a different way. The world is changing us. The world is growing us up. Higher knowledge, intelligence, understanding is growing us at a conscious level. All right. Now, the Lyrans are the ancient wisdom keepers. They are the keepers of the high, high, high knowledge and the high, high, high intelligence. Now, can you imagine that you're using 20% of your brain and then suddenly you can use 60% of your brain? How could you even handle life? I don't know that we could. So we got to get it in little doses, like 25% to 30% to 40%. Like we've got to go a little slow. So what's happening is that the Lyrans are here and they are infusing the grid with the higher wisdom, higher knowledge. So in 2023, your consciousness is going to grow pretty rapidly. How you looked at the world, maybe judged the world, maybe criticized the world, maybe were afraid in the world, maybe felt entitled or superior in the world, like all of that stuff's going to start disintegrating, but especially the violence and the corruption. And then you're going to be able to take in and know higher levels of knowledge. So they say just one experience is like telepathy, where your telepathic channels start being able to you're able to understand it at a higher level. You're able to talk to the blue beings of light. You're able to talk to your guides and angels. You're able to see each other more as light beings rather than someone to hate, or dislike, or not want to have anything to do with. So all of those things are changing. Okay. So if you've never heard of a grid, you most certainly can look it up. We have our advanced group of graduates. We've got 4 different groups who are working on a variety of grids right now. They're going to work on it probably for another 6 weeks. But if called, they'll continue that. But I just want to let you know that anybody can do this at any time. If you want to help the earth and its integration process, just do it once a week, just contribute once a week to help this way. So a grid is it's a light, it's crosses of light. It'd be like a chain link fence, but it's made of pure light. And what was I going to say about that? Oh, I know what I was going to say. When I was in Utah, I said, how am I going to know if I'm seeing a UFO? Because I see a lot of things moving in the sky. And they said an airplane will fly in a straight line. A satellite will move in a straight line. A UFO will follow the grid. So a UFO will travel along the energy lines of the grid. So you'll see it moving like up and over and up and over and up and over or down, just like stair steps. So that's how you're going to know if you're seeing a UFO versus a plane or a satellite. I thought that was pretty straightforward. So that's what the grid looks like. So I posted a picture. I made it our picture for this month. So we're just going to imagine, we're going to pretend with those brilliant, playful, imaginative souls that we have, that there's this blue grid. And all we're going to do is we're going to bring in more blue where we see any cloudiness, and we're going to rinse through that cloudiness and open up those channels. You can maybe run some of the blue light if you see one of the grids broken or torn, and then you can just let it surge all over the world, or you can just work on one spot if you're guided to. So let's go ahead and get started, because we've got about 20 minutes and want you to run your own blue energy to begin with. Are you all ready? Just type in yes on the comments section and we will get started. Yep, UFOs coming in for some fuel. Warrior Girl, she said she's from Andromeda, but she's had some lifetimes in Lyra. I believe it. I believe it. Yep, let's take flight. All right. Go ahead and close your eyes and turn within, and just let your bodies know you're going to be shifting some beautiful energies, clearing out some old. Ask your body to be cooperative. Just tell your body you're going to love it. Play well, play nice, be cooperative, don't resist. I can already see you guys are already blue. I already have a lot of blue going on here. Say hello to your spirit. Say hello to the part of your DNA that is starseed DNA. You can be a hybrid. Remember, you could have several, just like Warrior Girl said. I've got some Andromeda and I have some Lyra starseed. So you can have a blend of starseed energy in your DNA. So just talk to your spirit, ask your spirit to help you be playful and imaginative. Ask your spirit to help you not mentally block whatever's coming through to you, just like the person who attended my meditation on Thursday said I had to keep letting go so the vision would stay, because I kept thinking this is crazy and wanted to shut it down. So I wrote, Roger that, Commander. So just ask your spirit to help you be open-minded. If you feel adventurous, you can call in the blue beings of light, which really look like the avatar beings. They do have a feline type shape of a feminine uh, feline, but a very tall body, 10 to 12 feet high. So those are the beings that I see the most. The Lyrans don't seem as tall, but the Lyrans are also here. So if you feel comfortable, you can call them to enter in the space where you're sitting or laying down. Send a little message either through the blue beings of light or just to the blue grid, the earthly grid, and just let them know that we're going to be doing a healing, and ask that you be guided to the place that your spirit's being called to, where your spirit's being guided to. Just let the grid know that you're coming to help do some healing, and that to be guided where you specifically need to be working. Now, just let yourself know, let the star beings know you are ready for that blue celestial light. Has a very high, very light frequency. And let it just flow into the room where you are in, all the way through the top of your aura, your body. And this blue light's going to go all the way down to the center of the earth, and you're going to supercharge with the celestial light the blue crystals at the center of the earth. Some of you are going a little slower. Some of you are already at the crystals. Both ways are correct for you. For those who are already at the blue crystals, just imagine those blue crystals really drinking in that celestial blue light to be recharged. Let the blue light, the blue surge come out, start illuminating out of these blue stones, these blue crystals. The grid, the earthly grid, goes all the way down in the earth. So let the star crystals of blue start to infuse into the grid that's deep in the earth. And you may be guided to stay deep in the earth and just examine the whole grid that fills the earth and encompasses the earth. You may be guided to work on the grid above above the earth up through our atmosphere. Ask the blue beings of light, which are more Pleiadian, more Syrian. Remember, they look like in the movie Avatar. So you're going to call them to help. We're going to bring in the Lyrans here in a minute, but let's just ask the blue beings of light to help guide. Because remember, they're going to help you pick up the pieces of the broken vase and either fix it or discard it. They can't do it, so they're going to guide you as to where to fix it. We're going to take about 3 minutes of quiet as you all go where you're guided to go to help clear cloudiness, blocks, breaks, or tears. Try to stay pretty neutral. I can feel some of you have some emotion when you're seeing some of the damage to the grid, that you find that upsetting. Some of you are a little overwhelmed by some of the old energy. So move right up to your sixth chakra. We talked about that in the live call this week. Try to be neutral. Ask the blue beings of light to come in and help you, just surround you, help you hold your focus. There you go, back in the driver's seat. We're going to take just one more minute as you finish healing the grid. And again, we're going to do this over a year, so don't expect it to be perfect. And hello, Elaine from YouTube. Glad that you're just popping on. We're doing a blue light grid healing, so you can just hop right on in and pretend and catch up. Wow. Wow. Phew. All right. Now you're going to thank the Syrians, and you're going to thank the blue beings of light for their help. And now you're going to call in the Lyrans, um, the feline star beings that are the ancient wisdom keepers, and ask them now, say, so that they can come in and start infusing the grid with that high level of wisdom, ancient wisdom, and knowledge. And I'm not sure what color it's going to come in as, but it's going to come in as a frequency, and that frequency carries high frequency light codes in it. So it's going to just travel along the grid all the way down to the center of the earth and all the way up in the atmosphere. So it's almost like sitting back and observing. Sometimes you can ask one of the feline star beings, it's like, hey, can I hang out with you and see how you do this? Or you can just imagine that you're just watching them move all over our earthly world, enhancing our wisdom. Just about 20 more seconds. All right, now go ahead and bring your consciousness to be present wherever you are tuning in from the world, wherever you are on the earth, whatever time zone you're in. Go ahead and move your body around, feel your body, remind your body of what today's date is and how old you are. Thank your body and spirit for participating and growing and learning. Thank the blue beings of light and the Lyrans for helping you grow in your higher ancient wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of how the earthly grid works to uplift consciousness. And whenever you're ready, just open your eyes, look around the room to help yourself start to integrate, because your frequency has changed. Your vibration and frequency has changed. So you just want your body to feel it and integrate it. So I'm going to talk to you just a little bit as we wrap up, but if anybody has a question, I will look in the comment section. If I can catch them, I will respond to it. But I want to let you know, like Warrior Girl on YouTube, she's always like, smash the like button, click the share button, share this with friends, make a comment. So I want to let you know what Warrior Girl means by that. YouTube, Facebook, all these are kind of run by a computer algorithm. So imagine you've got this computer algorithm that's monitoring 2 billion YouTube channels or whatever, I'm exaggerating that. And then all of a sudden, there's this little trigger like beep, 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 beep. And all of a sudden, the computer's like, the algorithm's like, oh, there's a lot of people over here very active when Nancy's talking about this blue light thing or whatever Nancy's talking about. Huh. Well, if all those people really like it so much they're hitting the like button and they're making comments, I bet a lot of people would like that. And the computer kind of picks it up and drops it into a higher rotation in the world. So when Warrior Girl's talking about that, it's a real thing. So absolutely, every time you make a post, every comment, or hit the like or the love button, it's the same with Facebook. It helps spread the word to a larger audience. All right, so that's that. You're welcome for the guiding and teaching. You're welcome. You're welcome. So somebody's saying their body's humming, especially their scalp. My hands and feet were on fire. You're very much Warrior Girl. Thanks so much. She's like, yep, just typing that. Just got 7 more comments and 3 more likes. Yeah. Oh, did you get a feline star message that you need? The feline being said, you need to get out that black eyeliner and make feline cat eyes today. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's awesome. All right. And then the next thing is that they did tell me the winter solstice. So we've got some tickets that are coming up, registration for the winter solstice, which will be on December 21st, that they're going to be doing a lot more, that we're going to have a huge involvement of the blue celestial beings at the solstice. So they just told me that today. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah, I have Psychic Mastery 2, which is another program that I'll be launching in January. That's a year-long program. So just keep watching for that. And then don't forget on Tuesday for soulseeds.org, soulseeds.org, go take a look at that. You know, $1 donation, $5, whatever you want to leave. I'm going to ask you, you could do it today if you wanted, but I'm going to ask you to wait just for fun to Giving Tuesday is what they call it. So I'll be giving you more messages about that. So purring coming through. So I'm also going to post my other feline YouTube video later too. So just keep watching the blue light page. First thing I'm going to do is post that about Utah Blind Frog Ranch, so you can hear it from the person who dug the hole, had the surge of blue light, had all the UFOs coming in. You're going to find him absolutely delightful. His name is Dwayne. All right, so someone said didn't see or experience much, but found themselves repairing a beautiful blue vase. Beautiful. A gold repair technique from Japan. See, your spirit, I just want to reinforce that your spirit's going to work with you in a way that's tangible for you. Some people will work on a small part of the grid. Some people will be like they're from outer space and they can see the whole earthly grid. We're all going to see it differently because we are all unique and different, and we all have unique and different star seed genetics. So we've just got lots of different experiences. So thank you so much. I'm going to go look that up about that. Kitsugami. I'm going to look that up. I know you said you didn't get it spelled right. Anton, didn't miss a thing. The replay is going to be here. Didn't miss a thing. So glad that you're on. No, you cannot share it. This is a private page. We want people to feel like they can talk about anything having to do with the blue light and star beings without kind of having to have their whole family know about it if that's not what they're comfortable with. However, it's YouTube is very shareable. So go to Intuitive Mind with Nancy Rebecca. Give StreamYard just a few seconds to get it uploaded. You'll be able to start sharing it right away. You're welcome. You're welcome, Kathleen. Somebody else saw gold too. All right, I'm going to take this one more comment and then we're going to wrap it up. For weeks during meditation, I anchor to the center of the earth through ancient roots across the earth. During the blue light meditation, these roots where the blue light spread and raised up through the earth, not far, it wasn't time. What's cool is I recently told her friend that I thought it was that there was work happening with the earth. Absolutely. Yeah, let your spirit guide you and trust. So I know it's a Saturday morning. Have a fantastic weekend. Have a wonderful holiday season. On Thursday, remember, I will be doing a morning meditation that morning about, gratitude and connections. So you can join me again there. All right. Take care, everyone. If you continue to ask questions or make comments, then I will respond in written form back to you. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.